2 races remain here in the Apex East Series Showdown, season number 5. And we are in Virginia tonight for Martinsville for the cutoff race for the Final 4. I can't believe we finally made it here to the end of this season. It's been an incredible one, and it's going to continue to be that way all the way to the finish. I can imagine. Take a look at the schedule. We are all done. Started in February, and here in September is where it all comes to a close. Got Martinsville tonight, the final race before the championship in Phoenix next week. We'll crown season 5 and maybe the final Truck Series champion that we'll see in Apex. Moving to the Cup Series after that on Sunday night. So it's been a pleasure. It's been great. Tonight going to be another good one, I'm sure. Let's take a look right here. You got your playoff little bracket here. You got Aaron Adcock, who won at Talladega. He's locked into the final race next week. You got Alan Nash taking the win at Homestead last week. He will be locked in. That leaves 2 spots remaining to battle it out for this championship. Garrett Kinder out of this race tonight. Internet down. So he will not move on to the Final 4. Daniel Cunningham out of town. So he will not move on to the Final 4. So that leaves 2 spots for Jonathan Cofield, Tracy Passons, Chuck Phelps, and Charles Stevens Jr., who is going to move on and race for a championship next week. We're going to find out here on B-Speed. I'm Eddie Smith. Glad to have y'all here tonight at Martinsville Raceway in Ridgeway, Virginia. Half-a-mile paperclip, flat track, quintessential short track, one of the oldest tracks on the circuit for NASCAR, and legendary track. I mean, a lot of legendary races here in the last few years with the next gen car has not been maybe what it used to be, but there's a lot of things that aren't what they used to be. But here on iRacing Martinsville, we still put on a good show, and hoping to see that here tonight. Yes, grid is rolling. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see who can move on. And this race is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Alan Nash is going to start on the pole. He's going to be your Chuck Big Leg Pole Award winner. And Aaron Adcock locked into the final round. Both these drivers starting on the front row here tonight. Low-Cash Motorsports for the starting grid. In third, it's going to be Jonathan Cofield, still looking for win number 10 tonight. Would be a great time to do it, locking himself into the final round. And Charles Stevens Jr. there in fourth spot. In fifth is Chuck Phelps and Tracy Passons, both drivers that clearly make it into the final round. Michael Costick, Alan Smith starting in 7th and 8th. And then rounding out your field is going to be Matt Rogers. 9 trucks in the field tonight. And that was your Low-Cash Motorsports starting grid. Well, let's take a look at the race analysis here. 150 laps. It'll go by quickly here at Martinsville, assuming we don't have a bunch of cautions, which is possible with a smaller field like this. Honestly, I think this is the perfect field size for Martinsville. iRacing is very tough to race at a track like this. The cars don't react maybe like you think they would at low speeds, and I think this is a great opportunity for really good racing at Martinsville. Hopefully that's what we see. Pit road speed 35 miles an hour. 4 tire sets available here tonight. 2 green-white checker, 75% fuel load, and a stage brake at lap 40. That stage brake will still matter, especially if only 1 winner here tonight, and there's 2 spots, so the points could play out in that way. So you want to get those stage points if you can get them. You know, as far as points go, I got to say that, Garrett Kinder was sitting atop of the standings, but with those guys out, I mean, Chuck Phelps now leads the point standing. So Chuck Phelps has a great opportunity to point himself in, but green flag is out here at Martinsville. Next to last race, the penultimate race for this championship. Everybody clear through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Come over to take the at the stripe. Alan Nash with the lead with Aaron Adcock there on the outside. Well, interesting. Like I said, these points scenarios are going to be pretty tight because Charles Stevens only 1 point behind Chuck Phelps, and Jonathan Cofield is actually 20 points behind those two. So, the race is going to be very interesting for those factors. Jonathan Cofield, Tracy Passon's going to have to win to move on to that round. Garrett Kendrick, Daniel Cunningham currently sit in third and fourth. They're out tonight. I don't think in the playoffs any kind of drop weeks are going to help that. You're not going to be able to move on, so they'll be out of this thing, and it's all up to Chuck Phelps, Charles Stevens. I mean, it's going to be between them. If Cofield or Tracy Passons if those two could go up there and win the race, and right now Jonathan Cofield running in third. If he wins, then it'll be a battle between Charles Stevens and Chuck Phelps. If we don't have a new winner, let's say Alan Nash leads every single lap right here, and I think Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps has the points on lock with just 9 drivers in the field. So lot to think about here, but it's pretty cut and dry. New winner, Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps will be racing each other. Without a new winner, I think they are pretty safe in making it to the Final Four. So they are, if I'm Charles Stevens, I'm going up there and I'm racing the dog food out of the 84 of, or the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. I do not want him to win the race. We'll see. Right now, Cofield's actually in 5th. I think my time in scoring was moved up just a little bit. He is running in that 5th spot. Lost a couple spots on the start of the race, and now it's falling back to 5th. It's been pretty humbling to see Cofield. I mean, he's driving on a different computer. His sim rig is not. It's locked up. He's been trying to move into a new house, and so that sim rig not there. Man, it's crazy. It's almost like if you're a catcher and you got the wrong glove, almost. It's just odd to jump into another sim when you put so many hours of time and got used to how everything is. Everybody's sim rig's a little bit different. Oh, and he's gonna get loose and he's gonna spin it. No caution though. He's able to get it back going. But, I mean, what a great save. But, I mean, just exactly what I'm talking about. It's just so hard to get used to. He's driving someone. I mean, it's like getting into someone else's race car and trying to be fast. The seat's all wrong. The pedals are different. The way the comfort and the setup is a little bit different than what you're used to. And that has proven to be pretty tough there for Jonathan Cofield. I'm just not real sure. I was just surprised. I thought that he would get kind of accustomed to it pretty quickly, but I can tell you, I've driven on Alan Smith's rig, and honestly, it is tough to do. So I know he's probably disappointed. He had a fantastic season, 9 wins on the season, but that just shows you how important reps and the same equipment. You can't just jump into anything and be good all that time and stuff. Invested. You change something up, it definitely throws you for a loop. Gonna fall back to 8th. He is in a must-win scenario. That wreck or that half spin there is not gonna help him. Now he is 4.5 seconds back to the leader, Alan Nash, who has led every single lap. And 58, really loose right there. And I think what's happening is I think Cofield is actually being aggressive with the brake bias, and I've gotten him a couple times, maybe overdriving the entry just a tad bit, and that's the difference in someone else's pedals versus your own. So we'll take a look at the weather. The track temps only 72 degrees, so it is not slippery, not too slippery, but you carry more speed on a track cooler like this, and so it requires a little bit more precise inputs. You can't just let it roll like you would if it was 120 degrees. So you can really push the entry in the middle. See how much wheel he's having to put in trying to get that thing to turn. So, but he's able to keep it going. As across the line, Alan Nash has the lead. Charles Stevens now up into 2nd place as he puts more spots between him and Chuck Phelps. forward look at Charles Stevens here as he's trying to make it work. Is that Tracy Passon's behind him? 84 is looking fast. 2 spots he's gained already. Tracy also up 3. Tracy, one of those drivers who can win and get in. He is outside of the top 4. Too many points out to make up any difference with a field this small. So Tracy Passons will be looking to be aggressive here tonight. He's going to have to be get this that 3 truck into victory lane. So what Charles Stevens is doing here, he's got to be careful not to be too aggressive with somebody who's in a Hail Mary scenario. If Tracy gets to him, you kind of like, hey, go ahead, I'll follow you to the front, and maybe try to keep that 75 truck behind him. As Alan Nash gets really loose there up in the middle of the corner, and that's going to open the door for Charles Stevens. But now, if they want to give you the win, you better take it. That's a surefire way to make sure that that happens. You move on to the Final Fours, go up there and win. So they do that right there. Heck yeah, I'm gonna take the lead. So Charles Stevens out front here at Apex here at Martinsville, and we are settling into this long run now, and they can go at 75% fuel. I don't know if they can make it 100 laps. It'll probably be somewhere in the 75, 80, maybe 90 lap range. They can make it a long time on short tracks. You're just not using that much fuel. You're off the throttle quite a bit, and so you're able to make it quite a while. 75 will kind of cut that down just a tad bit, but I think you'll run it all the way. I don't think you'll do anything crazy like pit. You'll go a couple laps down if you pit. You don't want to do that. So, hang on to that track position for as long as you can. Take care of those tires. Those rear tires are going to be so important. And right now, Charles Stevens looks to be pretty quick. He's gained a ton of spots and was able to take advantage of Alan Nash getting loose there. Out front. Now he is currently locked in the Final Four if the race were to end just like this. So Charles doing exactly what even if he gets past on the last lap, he's still going to be into the playoffs. He just has to finish well and finish a couple spots ahead of Chuck Feltz. And these stage points are going to go a long way. Chuck currently running the 5th spot. He'll get some stage points, but the points for winning a stage for Charles Stevens may be enough to clinch that spot, no matter if we get a brand new winner. So big boy moves out of Charles Stevens. Come out here and know what he's got to get done and try to make it happen. But all single file here at Martinsville, and honestly, it's a breath of fresh air to have a Martinsville race that's not caution field. A lot of the last 4 or 5 Martinsville races that I've been in had 30 plus cars, and it's just caution after caution after caution. I don't care what league you're in. Yeah, I've the best of the best, the worst of the worst. It's all the same. It's just caution after caution after caution, and it's such a frustrating way to race. So far, so good. All green here. As you saw Alan Nash get to the back bumper, and Charles Stevens had to check up just a little bit. Watching this top 3, though, as they are kind of right on top of each other. See Aaron Adcock kind of staying in the back of the shot there. But Martinsville is very hard to pass in iRacing. It's very difficult to do that, because you have to roll the center and you have to get a better run off the corner, and it's dang near impossible to do it with a fixed setup. can enter in the corner, but the guy's going to be right there in front of you. You can't run the outside line. You try to get out there at some point, but on older tires, it's just not going to happen. You have to drive into the corner. You can see Tracy give Alan Nash a little bump there. That's kind of maybe what you need to do. Give him a little shove, get him up out of the groove, and man, look at Tracy driving that thing deep in there. You hear how low the RPMs are getting. That makes it difficult to make those passes because you're having to slow down so much that by the time you can get on the throttle to make the exit, like at a mile and a half, like Homestead. Oh man, gonna go in there and give him a shove. But like a mile and a half at like Homestead, you can get on the throttle sooner and really work, the steering wheel to make sure that you get a better run on a guy. You can try a different line like Darlington, run off the top side and get a better run. But here at Martinsville, there's just the one line, and by the time you can get around the paperclip part, just how tight radius these corners are, by the time you get on the throttle, the other guy's already gone. So, Charles Stevens waited on a mistake. That's kind of what you need to do here at Martinsville to make passes. See, there's not an opportunity. Tracy has given him a bump a couple times, but, with them running so slow, it's usually not enough to get them out of the groove here at Martinsville. So it's just a patient thing. Tracy getting a little bit loose on the exit, pushing that truck maybe a little bit too hard. Those rear tires after about 80 laps will be real pissed off. So you have to be careful. I mean, you hear that in real life too, that, keep the rears on it. That's the most important. That's your lifeblood. That's what gets you off the corners. That's what carries the speed. If you don't have those, you're going to be in trouble. And once you burn them off, it's over with. Chuck Phelps making a move on the 17 for the fourth possession as Tracy passes, gets loose again, and he is probably already cooked him. At this point, you're hoping for that stage break, which is right now, coming off the corner, down the back straightaway. And Charles Stevens is going to be your stage winner here, as Chuck Phelps does come home in fourth, so he'll keep that close. But Charles Stevens doing exactly what he needs to do, gets those extra points, and that will put him ahead of Chuck Phelps at the moment. Of course, winning the race doesn't matter. Chuck Phelps would be in as long as Charles wins. If Charles wins the race or he wins on points, I think Chuck's got enough that he will also make it in. What Chuck doesn't need now is just a new winner. A new winner would be real tough. But they're going to come down pit road on the first stage here, and 4 tires of fuel for these trucks. Charles Stevens is going to lead them down. Plenty of gap. Should be able to get off the pit road with the lead. That's very important. Now, will he take the bottom or top on the restart? That'll be a good question to ask him. So I think we'll do that. Once he gets off pit road, we'll bring him up in here. We'll talk to him, see what he thinks about winning that stage. Comes off pit road here. We'll bring him up in the booth and talk to him. Charles, it's Eddie. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
Well, you come in here with Daniel Cunningham and Garrett Kinder out with issues, somebody out on vacation. Now that puts you and Chuck in the catbird seat for third and fourth in the points. So you're battling with Chuck, and a new winner would put one of you out. So you did exactly what you needed to do there. You went and got those stage points, got that stage win. Now you're good on points. And you're probably good into the Final Four. How does it feel to go up there and just and get this stage win here early?
It definitely means a lot, especially how close the point battle is. I told Chuck going into this I wasn't gonna give it to him easy. It's gonna be a tight battle, and I just went out there and was aggressive on that opening start to get that lead, and then hopefully I could keep it and point us into the championship 4.
Yeah, and I'd be curious with this field like it is. You do get the 1 to green, so I'll let you go. But yeah, good luck, Charles, man. Great job there on that stage number 1.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Eddie.
Charles Stevens leading this thing, doing what he needs to do. I wanted to ask him, you know, what his mindset is, but it doesn't matter. I mean, at this point, with the way the field is, I think, honestly, I think he probably has put himself in the Final Four just by winning that stage there. So he did exactly what he needed to do, because I don't think, no matter what here, I don't think Chuck can make up those points. I have to go look at the point total. I mean, Chuck finished 4th, so I think it's got to be okay. But, man, Alan Nash did not have – was that Tracy? Yeah, no, it was Alan Nash did not have a great start there. Oh. As I don't know what just happened. Looks like iRacing closed down on us. My goodness. Well, we'll be right back, I guess. Oh, all right. Well, that was fun. We're back here. I had an iRacing crash. There was a new update out. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or what, but man, just just flat out closed out on him. Just no error message, nothing. So we're back though. Took us a little bit, but we got it back going. And man, look at what has changed. Jonathan Cofield has gotten up front after pit stops. Alan Nash had a really bad start on that restart. Charles Stevens got loose, and then you know, in my scurry to get connected back, it looks like Cofield has been able to get out front, and now it's a battle between two guys who have to win to get in. These guys desperate. And they're definitely running pretty hard. I can definitely tell. So obviously trying to get out front is the most important thing for either one of these drivers. Will they burn their tires up trying to race each other? Charles Stevens is about 1.6 seconds back. We'll see if that becomes a factor or not. But Cofield, another big slide out of the 58, and Tracy Passons will assume the lead there. As man, what a close call there. As another time Cofield has lost it on exit. Man, so not like him at all. And it's just it's wild to see him be so flustered with the equipment. He's normally just perfect, never has any issues. And he actually races in BR, so that also could be a big problem. BR just has a completely different perspective. If you've never done a racing game in virtual reality, you'll be amazed. You sit down, you turn that thing on, and everything just kind of comes to life. It's pretty unbelievable depth perception. You can see everything. It's pretty incredible versus, you know, a flat screen or maybe even 3 flat screens. So. And I noticed in road racing, you actually look at the apex of the corner, turn your head. You know, think about it. If you were in an actual race car, or when you're driving down the road, you can turn your head and look at where you're going. But on iRacing, if you have just flat screens, you can't do that. You kind of just like holding your head still. You kind of lose that peripheral, that ability to turn and look at where you're going. It definitely messes with your throttle inputs and kind of where you brake, all that stuff kind of gets shuffled around. But 2 great saves out of the 58, just struggling here. And now that's going to give Tracy Passons the lead here with not quite halfway, but almost there. So this puts Tracy in the final 4 if he can hang on to it. Saw him get loose there later in that run of that first stage, and they're already almost 30 laps into this one. Have to be careful, save those rear tires, don't put any pressure. Try to get straight exits off the corner. Don't try to over rotate the truck in the middle off. You know, just try to take care of that. Keep the trucks behind him. But he is in the final 4 now, and that would put Chuck Phelps now outside of the final 4 if the race were to end right here. So Chuck needs somebody else to get up there and battle these two to get into it, or something happen to either one of those, because one of these guys win, and it is not good for Chuck. Right now, Charles running in 3rd, Chuck in 4th. That would be enough points for Charles Stevens. Man, look at Tracy Passons get into the wall there off the 4. last few laps, Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps have been faster than the 2 leaders. They're slowly creeping up, right back up to the front. All right, halfway in the books. That time by Charles Stevens Jr. faster than Jonathan Cofield. Back here for 4th and 5th. Got Chuck under fire from Cossack. Cossack has been pretty quick. They actually look down to the inside. Now going to get a run on him here. And he's going to have position on Chuck. Now Chuck going to be battling here. Going to try to fight, stay in that position. Cossack going to try to clear him here into 3 and 4, and he does. So now Michael Cossack is up in the 4th position, and Chuck losing another very important spot. Now, of course, if Cossack goes up there and wins the race, then it's all good for Chuck. So it's what a tightrope that we walk here in this particular race. It's likely we're going to see, unless we have a caution, I just don't know if we're going to see a pit stop or not. I mean, I think 90 laps, pretty dadgum close to what these guys can run. So I don't know if we'll see a green flag stop or not. If we do, it'll be relatively short. I think they can probably make it to the end, even at 75% fuel, but I don't know that for sure. 75%, I don't really have a good gauge for that fuel amount. 100%, I feel pretty good they can make it on, make it 90 laps, but at 75%, they may need to stop again. And we'll find out here in probably a lap 100 or so if they have to do that. The time's not falling off that much. 20.1s, just a little under a second, it's about 7-8 tenths is how much they're falling off. Cossack looking to take another spot from Charles Stevens. Cossack definitely has saved his stuff and started to put pressure here on the 84 machine. See both these drivers sort of creeping in on the top two. The top two definitely pushed it really hard trying to battle each other. Here goes Kostick. Gonna sneak up to the outside, and what a great move there. That's the kind of move you wait till the last lap to do. And if you can pin Charles Stevens down, look how much he's able to drive into the corner a little bit further. If you're able to pin Stevens down, and he's got the little extra tire advantage, it looks like. So Kostick gonna take over likely that third spot. There he goes. So Kostick up to third. All right. Well, give me one moment. The stream may flutter just a little bit, but we'll be right back in just a moment trying to solve some issues here. All right, well, I think we're back. Hopefully we are back in action here. And hopefully we don't have any more issues, but we'll find out. It's been a plethora of problems. Sure is a lot of fun. Especially when you're the only one in here working, trying to figure out what's going on with the stream, trying to troubleshoot stuff, and also call the action. Having a couple announcers to call the race, talk while trying to fix stuff is pretty nice. So. It looks like everything is working and pretty smooth, so we'll hopefully see if that hopefully continues. We'll continue to watch this battle though. Trying to maintain the action as best we can and just push through the issues, but it continues to be Tracy and Cofield. Kostick has gotten around. Kostick has gotten around fourth and fifth, or third and fourth, excuse me, but hasn't really been able to make up any more ground. It looks like Aaron Adcock has come down pit road, so looks like pit stops are going to be something that you're going to want to do. The fall off is not enough that tires would make a huge difference. You know, trying to stop it, even if you make it on fuel, you wouldn't be able to make up the time. So the fact that he is stopping for tires lets me know that I don't think they can make it. If you can make it on fuel, you definitely want to stay out, but looks like that's not the case. And at this point, these guys would love to come down and get a set of tires. You know, if you're Tracy Passons, you got to be careful here. You really want to make sure that you want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes here. You got to come down pit road, make your decision on tires and fuel before you go down pit road. You don't be doing that. Here goes Jonathan Cofield around. He'll wreck on the front stretch, and the first caution of the night will happen here on lap 103 as he backs back out on the track in front of Alan Smith, and it's going to run into him. But maybe a little bit of frustration out of Cofield, but that really hurts Aaron Adcock, who came down pit road. So he'll be stuck a lap down, have to take the lucky dog, and he'll be at the end of the field. He'll likely come back down and get 4 tires. He'll be at the end of the pack no matter what. So Jonathan Cofield will fall all the way back to 8th place. Tracy will come down pit road with the lead. And so for Tracy Passons, things just got a little bit easier. He's got a little bit less pressure there. He's got less than 50 laps to go. He's just gonna have to, any abuse that he put on those tires, you know, he kind of it doesn't matter now. He's going to have probably around 40 laps to go once the green flag drops. He doesn't have to make a green flag stop. Now it's just get out front, get a good restart, and just take care of those tires to the finish. And passing has been such an issue that I don't know. I don't know if anybody has anything for him. So this is good for Tracy Passing. Well, all right, here we go. See if we get the 1 to green this time. We will not, so we'll go back around. And Aaron Adcock elected to stay out here. I don't get that part. Maybe he forgot he's going to have to go to the back. I don't know, but yeah, I wonder if he wasn't going to come down pit road, try to get a set of tires, get back equal with the rest of them. But he's going to fall back to the back of the field. But he is locked into the final 4, so it's not a big deal to him. All right, doubled up for this restart. Gonna have about 42 laps to go when we go green. Tracy Passon's in a must-win scenario here tonight. He's gonna have to take the checkered flag to race for a championship next week in Phoenix. Michael Kosick not in the playoffs. He is here just trophy hunting. If Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps there in that second row, you're battling each other. But hey, if either one of those can get a win, they don't have to worry about it either. So right now, Charles Stevens is locked in, I think, as far as... Oh, it's Tracy Passage! Not able to get going on the restart. He does get it going. I think he missed a shift. They're 3 wide behind him. And Tracy Passage loses the lead. Oh, it's not what he could not have that happen. Let's go back. Gander Farm and Ranch Ricketts rewind. We'll speed it up just a little bit and let's watch and see if he missed the shift. This is on the replay here. Yeah, just did not get it into the gear. And he is watching everybody drive by, and boy, that is tough. He is up, still in the 4th position, but man, losing that lead here with just a few laps to go, man, that is going to be tough to overcome, and that gives Michael Kosick the lead of the race. And this is going to be a tight race, especially if it goes green. I think Kosick's in a good position now. That was just a gift. Now Chuck Phelps feeling the pressure of those must-win drivers, both of them behind him. He is in a scenario, this is crazy. But with that slip by Tracy Passage, now Chuck Phelps is in the playoffs. He is in the Final 4. So he does not want to let either one of those by. He better fight. He needs to fight as hard as he can, because if either one of those drivers behind him win the race, he is out. Because Charles Stevens got those points early, going to kind of give him a bigger gap. They've been running pretty much nose to tail all race. And so Charles Stevens likely going to be in no matter if we get a new winner or not. But Chuck is the one that's on that bubble line, and he does not need to have a new winner. So while that was bad for Tracy, that is real good for the 75 machine, as he will sit there in 4th. Michael Kosick not in this round. Oh, as Chuck gets a little bit loose there, overdriving it just a little bit. But Kosick not in this round, so if he wins, it doesn't affect the championship. And Chuck going to battle hard. He's not going to let go. Does not want to let these guys go and see them get up to the front and lead this race. Oh, and Tracy's going to get in there hot. Tracy, they're banging doors, and Tracy Passage going to spin. Oh, and the 58 goes around. Both of them. Caution back out on the raceway. But you can kind of see that all brewing, and Tracy kind of saw Chuck slip up there, and then was trying to take a couple moves. Chuck battling hard, not just giving it up. We'll watch right here as you can see it. Drive in, make a little bit of contact there on that corner. And then Tracy just cooks it. He's trying to be aggressive. You can see a little extracurricular there from Jonathan Cofield, but go on board Cofield here. Watch this. Tracy just trying to make sure he maintains that position. Got the brake bias down low, trying to make the truck turn into the quarter, and you can see what happened there. I mean, just hooks it into the corner and slides all 4 tires here. You see he lost the run off the corner there. He's trying to make up for it by braking a little bit harder. Nothing really Chuck did wrong. Tracy just drove it in there. He's trying to get all he can get. And unfortunately for Cofield, he gets taken out in the process. So you can see the desperation moves. I love it. And Chuck battling hard, knowing what's at stake. He can't just let it happen like that. He's got to make it. He's got to battle for this. He lets those guys go and they win. It's over for him. So, a couple cautions now on the books for this race, and desperation going to continue to push forward, make this race even more compelling. I think Costick getting out front. I think he's in good shape. Charles Stevens knows he's in good shape. Now it's just Chuck, Tracy, and Cofield who are, sort of feeling their seasons kind of slip away. And definitely slipping away it is. There's going to be 30 laps to go when they cross the line here, and we'll have probably about 28 laps. No, they will get 30 to go here when we take the green. So not a lot of time. Cofield's back down on pit road, getting his fast repair. He's going to start in the Mary back. So it's about to get wild. Let's see what's going to happen here. The final 30 laps in the playoffs in this round. Costick with the lead. Barney with the green flag in his hand. He gets a great jump. Well, actually, Charles Stevens gets a great jump as well. And we'll see if Tracy and Chuck make contact again. This time, Tracy has the outside. He's going to get the run off the corner. Can Chuck do anything with it? Chuck going to dive it down in there. And, oh, Tracy's trying to fit that truck in there. Tracy gives Charles Stevens a bump. They're going to go 3 wide down the straightaway here. Chuck now battling to the inside of Charles Stevens. And Tracy passes. Oh, there's a wrecking behind it. Alan Smith in the wall as Cofield and Alan Smith made contact. They were 3 wide at Martinsville, and caution going to come back out on the speedway. And Tracy Parsons was able to get back up in second. Well, that was a lot going on there. Go back and see what happened back here at the back. They were 3 wide. Cofield, man, he's just in a tough spot where he's making a desperate move here. And, I don't really know who's, I don't know if there's really any kind of fault to do here. Try to see if maybe 58 comes down or. And it looks like the 58. I mean, it's just tough. It's tough because I think the 58 had to do that to make the exit, not hit Matt Rogers. But I mean, Alan Smith has to come up off the corner. You can't just. I mean, you're asking a lot for the truck to stay completely straight off of the bottom of 3 wide at Martinsville. Just the desperation of time running out. Watch on board, hopefully. It's kind of just stuck. These guys running side by side. He needs to do something. Got Aaron Adcock down on the bottom, just kind of locked in here as he's watching Tracy Parsons make a move for second. He knows he's got to go. He's going to stick it in here. but I just don't know if he was ready for 3 wide. You know, he kind of comes up maybe a little bit, but 3 wide at Martinsville off the exit, that's not going to work. And I know that Cofield knows that. Cofield knows that this is a low chance move, that it's going to work, but he's trying whatever he can do. And you know, that's the type of moves when you make when you've got a 9-win season, and you know, issues with moving, not having the right equipment, and now you're in trouble of not even being included in the Final Four, and that desperation is coming out with that type of move. You got to make it. I mean, you think about Ross Chastain. I mean, what's the percentage that you drive the full throttle? I mean, nobody has ever seen that done in real life. So you don't know the chance. You drive it in there and it sticks, and he moves on to the Final Four or to the next round of the playoffs. You know, it was worth it for him. And right there, that's what Cofield's trying to do. Trying to find any move, even if it's a low percentage, to try to get into the Final Four. Here comes Kostick through 3 and 4. Now Tracy Passons up into second. Tracy going to try to get clear here. Hopefully he can get through his gears. Does not get a great jump, though. He's not side by side with Kostick. I'll never understand that. Just giving the leader all of that space when you know you got to go up there and win. He's going to get clear of Charles Stevens here off this corner by powering that 53 down. So now he is through for second, and now going to set his sights on the lead. And the number 4 is in the way of his playoff hopes. And Chuck Phelps watching from that 4th position, helpless. Nothing he can do. He's the biggest Michael Kostick fan at the moment. Because if Kostick wins this race, Chuck Phelps in the playoffs in the Final Four. And if Tracy Passons wins, then Chuck is out. So, man, a lot that can happen here with just a few laps to go. And it might all hinge on what happens with a non-round of 8 driver. What happens with Kostick? He's the one that's the catalyst for how this is all going to play out. And he doesn't have a care in the world. He is here for the win. He wants the trophy. He wants that grandfather clock. He's got 20 more laps before he can get it done. 30 laps to go here at Martinsville. Tracy Passons cooks the entry a little bit, and he's going to lose a little bit of time just driving the wheels off that thing. And that's why, I mean, playoff racing, that's why we love it, because it is the smallest of margin. Look how his steering wheel is almost dadgum straight here on entry. Watch this. That's how much he's using the brake to slow and turn the truck. Look at that. All the way until right in the middle of the corners when he starts to use the front tires at all. And unfortunately for him, he is cooking real bad. He's going to have to let these things cool off a little bit before he even has a chance. But I think the time is running out. A caution's out, though. Cofield gone around again. Farmer Ranch wreckage rewind. We're watching as Cofield battling here with the 17. Oh, he's going to cook it. Oh, and then come right down and hit Matt Rogers. Well, caution is out. That's good for Tracy. Tracy is in a great spot here. Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps, kind of trying to fake each other out. And if you're a Chuck Phelps, it's such a helpless feeling because he can't really do anything. He hasn't shown the speed that he can go up here and win this race. That's the only thing he has in his control. But that's why these playoffs are so exciting, man. Just so many variables that can change at any lap. I mean, so much has happened so far. Who win in your in format, the way this whole thing works out. Cofield has actually called it quits. So, hate to see that. I really do. And what a season for him. 9 wins. I mean, just a dominant regular season performance. And, just to piggyback on what I was just already saying, the playoffs just add that uncertainty, that little bit of extra, that variable of having to move, not have your right equipment, trying to race on some unknowns, some foreign equipment. Just not enough time to get used to it, get back in form. You can definitely tell he's been off for about a month now. So just not the Cofield that we're used to. So definitely disappointed to see that. I mean, everybody else probably happy because he had just dominated the season. There's 23 races in the season. He won damn near half of them. So to see him not make the Final Four does feel kind of bad, but that's the way things go here, and we move on. Back to this one. Cofield is out of it. Now the last driver that has a shot at anything is going to be Tracy Passons here. He's going to go for broke, and Kostick, I don't know. If you're Kostick, how much do you push? I don't know. This is going to be interesting. We're just going to watch. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out what's going to happen. We're going to watch it all play out. Tracy Passons in desperation. He must win. He cannot point his way in. He must win this race. Now he's going to get side by side. He's not going to be a whole car length back. I like that. Green flag is out, and it works out in his favor, although he does beat him to the line. Will that be a penalty? I don't know. Oh, he's slow on the track, and it is a penalty. Oh, my God. I like it. Man, I like the call. I like his thought process there. I've said it 100 times, and I will not down him for doing that. He did what he thought he needed to do to win the race right there with just a few laps to go. And I've always said, hey, jump the restart. If you get it, you're great. You're there side by side. You have a chance. If you get the penalty, it is what it is. So I love the call. I love the call. He's going to get the penalty, but if he doesn't make that pass with just so few laps to go, he's not gonna win anyway. So I fully support what Tracy Passons just did, although he did get a penalty for it. So that will be it for Tracy Passons. He will go a lap down. I mean, if we get a caution, he can still get out there and get the lucky dog, but just not enough laps. So Chuck Phelps, big old smile on his face as he is now in a great opportunity with those two drivers out, that he is going to make the Final Four here tonight. He doesn't have to do too much here. He is going to just be in by default. So great job by Chuck to be in it, and just had a great race last week. Has had a pretty good race this week, and he's going to be racing for a championship if everything stays like it is. Tracy Passons now down 3 laps, so he is definitely out of the playoff and championship hunt. So Charles Stevens will move on. Not as much drama there. That was it for the drama, because Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps will move on to the round of 4. And now it's all about Michael Kostick. He is 1.1 seconds out ahead of Charles Stevens Jr. and only 7 laps to go in this race. But a heartbreaker for both Tracy and Jonathan Cofield. I mean, great seasons by both those guys. You hate to see that play out that way. But that's the round of 8, man. You got round of 16, you got round of 12s, and those are fine. Yeah, there are a lot of competitive drivers in those rounds. Once you get to the round of 8, you have to be perfect. And a lot of times there's a super speedway in there. There's now Martinsville in there. There's so many just tough hurdles to jump over. And so, the round of 8 is where you have to be perfect. That's the money maker round. If you don't perform there, you're not gonna be racing for a championship. So right now, Kostick with 5 laps to go has the lead by almost 2 seconds. Battle is going on for 3rd here, or 2nd. These guys could race a little rough here, knowing that the race is pretty much, as far as the championship, the 4 locked in. It's disappointing also. Let me just kind of shout out, it's also disappointing for Eric Kinder and Daniel Cunningham, who were actually 3rd and 4th in the points when they came coming into this race. So both those drivers had to miss and so that took them out. So definitely tough for them as well. They definitely deserve to be in a race for championship. But with 3 laps to go, Michael Kostick, a non-playoff driver. Very rare that you see a non-playoff driver win a race, but he's going to come take 2 to go. A couple more laps around this thing, and we are 1 week away from crowning a champion here in Season 5 of Apex E-Series. 2, 3, and 4. Barney's going to have the white flag in his hand. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Michael Kostick. It's in the books. All he's got to do is just make it to the finish line. And I don't see that being a problem. He's got a 2.5-second advantage over second place. Here he is through 3 and 4. Kostick comes off a turn 4. Checker flag in Barney's hands, and he's going to win here at Martinsville. Charles Stevens comes home in second. Aaron Adcock in 3rd position, and they will be battling it out next week in Phoenix. Chuck Phelps makes it into the final round. He will be racing for a championship. I gotta say that I'm very confident in that decision, so we will talk to them. But you can see a little bit of extracurricular stuff going on. Celebration. Alan Nash also, after last week's win at Homestead, he will be in the Final 4 as well. But tonight it's all about Michael Kostick, who is doing burnouts here on the front straightaway, and he's going to celebrate this win. Do a little bit of SVG drifting around the first and couple turns to burn those tires down. Well, Martinsville, that was a great race. Man, it's so good to be at a Martinsville race where it stays relatively clean and not wrecking every few laps. I mean, the race earlier this season was extremely tough to deal with, a lot of cautions, but this one, not so much. Great race. Definitely disappointing for Tracy Passons and Jonathan Cofield. They gave it all they had, and it was definitely, you could definitely tell by how much they were pushing to try to get that win, just came up a little bit short. Well, let's talk to these drivers, get everybody out of here. They were so patient. We'll get them up in here and talk to them. But let's start with the winner here tonight, Michael Kostick. Michael in the booth. This is Eddie. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Eddie.
Well, man, hey, great win. Golly, it's a couple times I'm talking to you about wins here in the last week, and man, what a race that was. You're not in the round of 8, but that didn't stop you from coming in here, being fast. You're up in the top 5 all race long, just taking your time like you normally do. What was your thoughts coming in here? You got purple banners all around you. What was your kind of plan going into this race?
Just kind of go and have some fun, not take anybody out. It was tough to pass, so it's tough not to lay the bumper to people, but yeah, just be patient, stay calm, and just have some fun.
Well, it seems like it was a lot of fun. There was just a hurricane of drama going on around you. Were you aware of the drama that was going on with what people needed to do and all that kind of stuff, or were you just out there running your own race?
Yeah, I was just kind of running. I was talking to Cofield a little bit about saving fuel before that one caution, but yeah, I was just kind of out there running. Whatever happened. Wasn't too worried about the fuel thing, but trying to save a little bit.
Well, all that stuff was going on as far as the playoffs and Final 4, but you weren't worried about that at all. You got the lead on the start, and Tracy tried a crazy move to try to jump the start and get there even with you, but ended up getting the penalty, and you got out front. Never looked back there at the end. Man, congratulations on the win. That was awesome. Great way to get a victory, and we'll hopefully see you next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, man. Should be fun.
All right, man. Well, who you got to thank?
Thank you guys and VSP for doing the broadcast. Apex Sim Racing, American Grid Apparel, Chuck Pegleg for the Pull Award, Low Cash Motorsports, Kinder Farmer Ranch, Pomade Motorsports, and my teammates at Bandits.
All right. Well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Michael Kostick, takes the victory here at Martinsville. And then we got Charles Stevens here in second place. Charles, well, you came into the race and you had to you had a one thing in mind, which is just getting to the final four, and you won that stage, which pretty much locked you into the final four, and then it was just getting to the finish and dealing with all the drama that was going on around you. Man, talk about your race. How'd it go from the end of stage one on?
Very stressful, Eddie. I knew it was going to be a close point battle. If Tracy would have won, it would have came down to me and Chuck there. So I knew winning that stage. Chuck came into it 3 points ahead of me, so I knew winning that stage was going to help me and get me to where I needed to be. I just had to keep in front of Chuck the whole night, and I wish I would have got the win, but I'll take a second place, and it moved me into the final four.
Yeah, so Phoenix next week. For some reason, when I think of Phoenix, I do think of you a little bit. So, do you like Phoenix? Is Phoenix a good track for you, or am I just misremembering?
You must be thinking of someone else. I'm
Okay.
not very good at Phoenix. But like I do everything, Eddie, man, I'm gonna put in the time, practice, and I'll definitely be ready for it.
There you go. Well, hey, looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. I mean, you guys are definitely deserving to be in the Final Four, so congratulations. And we'll talk to you next week. See how you're feeling. Good luck, and who you got to thank here
Just thank my team over at Low Cash, with everyone there. Aaron, the boss man, running the show. We definitely got two Low Cash, two Po Man in the final four, so you can't think of nothing better than that. And then I want to thank you, Eddie, for broadcasting every week. I want to thank my wife and son, and just my family for allowing me to step away for the time of the race. And then Jimmy over at Apex that keeps this thing going. But yeah, that's about it, man.
All right. Well, there you have it. Final Four driver going to be racing next week for a championship. Charles Stevens Jr. All right. Well, let's move into your third place finisher, and that is Aaron Adcock. We're going to get him up into the booth. Aaron, this Eddie, the booth got a copy?
I got you, man.
Come on. Well, hey, we ain't seen you do squat in the last 2 weeks. So what you been? You take a couple weeks off for the championship round. What's going on with you?
Man, I've been in Phoenix getting ready, Bubba.
You're at the wrong track.
I'm at the wrong
Tonight,
track every week.
yeah, I mean, Homestead, you were just driving around like you had the cruise control on, running on the apron half the race, and then tonight you're out there racing. Seemed like we had a little bit better race here tonight with being 9 trucks at Martinsville. Normally it's a caution fest. Just earlier in the season, I think that's what happened. But this race was pretty fun. It's got to be fun to race Martinsville and be able to have a long green flag run like what we had tonight.
Yeah, it is. I knew I was going to be short on fuel, so I went ahead and come down pit road and tried to be real sneaky about it. And I don't think anybody really saw me and paid attention. And I got out in front of the leaders and was only 1 lap down, and I was running a second faster lap times than them. And I was kind of hoping that it was going to stay green and we were going to get a chance to have a whole field do green flag pit stops, and I think I was going to kind of come out on the good end of that deal, but it didn't work out. Was able to get back on the lead lap and try to fight for that. But yeah, just it's nice to come to Martinsville and finally get to turn some laps where you get into a rhythm and kind of get that mindset of breaking points and entry and making it roll the corner and doing everything you need to do. Just it was a lot of fun tonight, even though it was just 9 of us out there.
Yeah, well, I said with pre-race that I feel like the way the races I've seen at Martinsville that 10 cars on Martinsville seems pretty good. That seems like a pretty good field here, and I think it did put on a pretty good show tonight. There was a lot of drama with the cutoff and Tracy and Cofield having their trouble, and I think most of the field is playoff drivers, and Kostick, the only guy up there without not in the round of 8, going to take the victory. But you finished third. Now you get to really focus on Phoenix. I thought Charles Stevens said he liked Phoenix, but I can't remember. Do you like Phoenix? Do you enjoy that track?
I love Phoenix.
Uh-oh.
I love Phoenix.
Well, that's bad for the competition. You got to feel good for it. Feel good going into next week. You're obviously going to put in the time, but Alan Nash, Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps, that's a pretty good little bunch you're going to have to fight to get that championship. The final season in the trucks here on Thursday nights. It'd be a good one to win there. And what do you say?
Yeah, man. It's been a lot of hard work put into this last 4 seasons, and almost finished with the 5th season. I can't think of a better curtain drop moment than the boss man taking home the top prize at Phoenix. I was pretty close 2 seasons ago, and fell a little short and missed it by one spot. But yeah, I'm hoping to put the time in. Hope they haven't changed the setups too much from the last time I ran there. It felt really good, and it's 150 laps next week, just like this week. So it's going to be a long race on a 1 mile track, and anything can happen. Stage points don't count for the top 4. It's straight up run what you brung. Top driver takes it all home. So it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a battle. You don't have to worry about anything other than finishing in front of the other 3 guys. And me and Chuck being teammates at Po-Man, that's going to be fun and exciting. And then Po-Man is also the owner of Low Cash Motorsports, who Alan Nash and Charles Stevens drive for. So we're going to keep the championship in the house for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a grind next week. Hopefully everything will work out in our favor, and it'd be bittersweet, man.
Yeah. Well, man, congratulations on getting to the Final Four. Congratulations on 3rd place. We're going to let you go so we can get everybody in tonight with some interviews. But, man, who do you have to thank here tonight?
Yeah, Po-Man Motorsports, Apex Sim Racing, American Grid Apparel Company, V-Speed, thank you for everything you do, everybody that shows up, the family, everybody out there watching tonight. We're going to Phoenix. We're going to try to bring one home for y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, there you have it. Aaron Adcock comes home in 3rd. He's going to be racing for a championship, and then we're going to bring in Charles Feltz, which is a name I've never called you before. We'll call you Chuck. It feels weird to call you Charles. I don't know why I did that. Don't know why I did that. Well, Chuck, you did it, man. It had to have been a stressful race for you, knowing the point situation, what was at stake. Tracy Cofield up there, if they win, and Charles goes up there and wins a stage, which kind of put a gap between you and him in points. And if they win, you're likely out of the playoffs, and there's a lot going on there, lots of drama. What was your feelings during the race? How were you feeling? Were you nervous, or what was going on with you?
Everybody knows I eat crayons, so I'm not very good at math anyway. But I was trying to not worry about the points, but I'm not gonna lie, I was. So I was counting the stage break because I had a 3-point buffer going into the night over Charlie. And Charlie has such a great exit speed or drive off tonight. I couldn't touch him on exit. I'm like, damn. And then Tracy's up there leading. I'm like, well, if Tracy wins this, I'm out because Charlie's gonna get over me in points. And then Tracy had some misfortune, so it still wasn't entirely sure. So it was stressful for sure. Uh, I mean, I'll take it. I feel it was, Kinder wasn't here because of internet issues, and Cunningham was out of town, and then Tracy has some misfortune, so I sort of squeaked in. I'll take it. I kind of feel that I didn't entirely deserve it on skill or by my own doing so. It took misfortune of others to get me here, but that's racing also. So it was stressful. I tried really hard to answer your question one more time, not to do the math, just drive, concentrate on my break points or my drive off. But not gonna lie, it was hard for me anyway to do the math while I'm also trying to drive as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's the best way of doing it. Trying to worry too much, think too much about what's going on around you. It can be tough to hit your marks and just be steady on the track. And that gummit, if you didn't do a great job, man, you came away with the Final Four position. So congratulations to you, man. Looking forward to see what you can do at Phoenix. How you feeling about Phoenix as you move into that race?
I'm definitely going to apply myself at practice. I do personal practice as well. I feel more comfortable at that track versus tonight, of course. I'm just happy to be a part of the Final Four. First time I've ever made a Final Four. and I'm happy that I did it before we moved to a different vehicle next season. So I did it barely. I'm just happy to be in the Final Four. And that part I'm sincere. Whether I win or second, third, or fourth, whatever, I'm just happy to be a part of the final truck season race as one of the champ boys. So.
Well, you got a good looking truck, man. Congratulations on getting to the Final Four. Looking forward to seeing if you can get that championship. Just think next week we could be talking about Season 5 Apex E-Series champion Chuck Phelps. It could play out. Don't. I know you're about to key up and say, I don't know, Eddie. Hey, look, you're in the Final Four. There is a chance. You saw all that happen tonight. You gotta go into it thinking you could do it, Chuck. I know you can. So congratulations on making that Final Four, and good luck next week.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks again for what you do. Always respect to you, sir.
All right. We'll let him go. We'll bring Alan Nash in here, talk to him, see what he thought about the race, and we'll see if Alan's even actually still here. Alan Nash is Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Oh, hey, Eddie.
There he is. Okay. Well, we want to talk to all the guys who made it in the playoffs. Of course, you were locked in. We talked to you last week, and this, you just kind of came in here to have a little bit of fun tonight. But now we move on to Phoenix. You're going to be racing Aaron Adcock, going to be racing Chuck Phelps and Charles Stevens. Now, Phoenix. How do we feel about Phoenix? How well do you feel going into that final race?
I like Phoenix. It's a real frenetic track to drive. Driving across that apron, bouncing all over the place. Last season we got to the Final Four. Charlie and I and Tracy and I did, and then good old Kinder just put on a clinic and smoked us, and so it'll be kind of different not having Kinder in the mix. So I think it'll be a square fight, 4-way round. I'm real happy for Chuck, and Aaron and Charlie, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be awesome. A good way to send off this truck series as we'll move to a Sunday night Cup series starting at the first of the year. So. Gonna be fun. Tonight was fun. It had a lot of drama for 9 trucks. It sure was. There was more drama than there was trucks in this race. So, it had to feel good to not be a part of that and be just racing, just for fun at a relatively low caution count Martinsville. That's always a welcoming sight, huh?
Yeah, Martinsville's a lot of fun if you can get in a rhythm. And it was just, of course, I was trying to not be a factor with anybody tonight, and I think you would have been cracking up, Eddie, as the laps were taking off, listening to Chuck Phelps, Charlie Stevens, and Tracy Passons try to do math on points as positions kept shifting around.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, look, I bet it was like that old dial-up going on, like you had to dial up to the AOL. That's what it sounded like in there. But man, congratulations on making the Final Four. Looking forward to seeing what you can do at Phoenix. And man, the floor is yours. You got to thank.
Well, thank you, Eddie, for the entertaining broadcast every week, and I always, of course, enjoy getting to race with you some too. I want to thank Aaron for the league and all the competitors, and I think everybody for some really nice, clean green driving at Martinsville tonight. It's the first time I ever got to go more than 10 or 15 laps green at Martinsville. Just a good time.
All right, well, there you have it. Alan Nash going to be moving on to Phoenix and racing for a championship, and that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank y'all so much for watching. It's been a great season. That was a Po-Man Motorsports post-race interviews. We move on to Phoenix, the final race of the season. Who's going to take it all? We'll find out next week at Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Lord's time. We'll be crowning the champion. So, thanks to Apex Sim Racing. Got a button box, need something for your sim rig, go to apexsimracing.com. We'll check it out. But for Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, I'm Eddie Smith, B-Speed. You've been watching the Apex E-Series Showdown. One more race to go. Who's going to win? We'll find out. See you next week.